Adaku was a kind and gentle girl who lived in a small village in Nigeria. She helped her mama with chores around their little hut and loved playing jackstones and jumping rope with her friends. But as Adaku grew older into a young woman, she began having problems that made her very sad. You see, Adaku's body was growing bigger and bigger. Her arms and legs became thick, her belly poked out, and her cheeks grew very round and puffy. No matter how little she ate, the weight just kept piling on. Her friends and family members teased her, calling her the butterball because she looked like a big butterball rolling around the village. But that wasn't the only issue poor Adaku faced. She also developed a strong, unpleasant body odour that smelled like rotten eggs and spoiled milk. Adaku bathed regularly, but the foul smell never went away no matter how much she scrubbed. The children ran away from her, holding their noses and shouting, "Stinky Adaku! Phew, you reek!" Adaku felt so ashamed and embarrassed. She stopped playing games and stayed inside her hut, crying and wishing to be beautiful and fresh-smelling like the other village girls. "Why am I so fat and stinky?" she wondered. "No boy will ever want to marry me like this." One day, a kind-hearted old woman named Auntie Ayo overheard Adaku's cries. Auntie Ayo knocked on the hut and asked why Adaku was so unhappy. At first, Adaku was too embarrassed to say, but Auntie Ayo smiled warmly and assured her that she only wanted to help. So Adaku poured out the whole story about her weight troubles and foul odour. She expressed her fear that no man would ever want an overweight, stinky wife. Auntie Ayo listened carefully, then gave Adaku's chubby hand a tender pat. "My poor child, you're being much too hard on yourself," Auntie Ayo said gently. "You're a beautiful young woman inside and out. Your weight and smell do not define your worth." Adaku looked at Auntie Ayo in surprise. Beautiful? Worth? But how could she, a butterball who smelled like spoiled food, have any worth? Seeming to read Adaku's thoughts, Auntie Ayo explained, "There are special reasons why you struggle with your weight and odour. You're not to blame, my dear. Now dry those tears and listen closely." Auntie Ayo went on to describe how some people inherit conditions that cause obesity and foul body smells, no matter how well they take care of themselves. It was not Adaku's fault, but the result of a medical issue that could be treated with the right help. Adaku felt like a huge weight was lifted off her shoulders. She was not a person to be mocked or ashamed, but someone with an underlying condition, and there was hope for feeling better about herself. With Auntie Ayo's guidance, Adaku sought help from a travelling nurse. The kind nurse examined Adaku and agreed that she likely had an endocrine disorder that caused fatigue, excessive hunger, and weight gain no matter her diet. The nurse also determined that Adaku's body odour stemmed from excessive sweating and skin issues. For the first time, Adaku felt understood instead of ridiculed. The nurse prescribed natural remedies and a special soap that finally helped reduce Adaku's odour. Though she remained overweight, Adaku held her head high and refused to let her size define her worth as a person. She rejoined her friends to jump rope and play games, becoming the most enthusiastic player once again. When the children made fun of her size, Adaku simply laughed and said, "Short or tall, fat or small, I'm proud of it all." Her infectious confidence and self-love inspired others to embrace their own unique qualities. Eventually, a kind-hearted farmer named Emeka noticed Adaku's inner beauty shining brighter than any outward appearance. He found her joyous spirit captivating, as if her smile could light up the whole village. One day, Emeka embraced his courage and asked for Adaku's hand in marriage. At first, Adaku worried that her weight and smell might turn Emeka away, but this man had a pure heart and saw her for her inner qualities, her warmth, kindness, and loving nature. With Auntie Ayo's blessing, Adaku happily agreed to marry the man who accepted her just as she was. Adaku and Emeka's wedding was the most joyous celebration the village had ever seen. Adaku glowed with confidence as she danced and played games with the other wives. Her bursting laughter was like music to the guests' ears.